This part is the vertical support for the model button maker. This is going to be similar to many parts in how we're going to lay this out, which is creating a profile of this section here and doing a revolve. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we know the distances of how long it is, how long the ends are, and make sure that we know the diameters of things. So I can do this in a couple different ways. I'm going to start by creating the sizes that I need for this new part. So the sizes that I need there relate to the length of it and the height of it. Now this height, as we're given in here, is a little bit difficult to read because it's telling us about the threaded ends. Now this 5/16 18 UNC means it's 5/16 in diameter. So we know the diameter there, but actually what we need is a radius because we're creating a profile. So we're going to create that 5/16 into a radius. Easiest way to do that, so I'm going to use the power of Inventor. I'm going to use 5/16. I'm going to type that in parentheses, divide that by 2 to create the right size that I need. It will do the math for me. Then I'm going to add in the other dimensions as I get across here and create the whole shape. So as you're looking at this, those are what you're going to need to be putting in. Some of the dimensions I'm going to add a little bit later on here as I line this up. So again, this is a revolve. It's going to involve a radius rather than diameter. So as I create some of these heights here, I'm looking for the diameter amount, not the radius amount, not the diameter. Then the other measurements are given on there, and that's what we'll use to create the overall shape in the right size. So make sure that you're getting those measurements off of there, and you have the proper sizes as you put everything in. Then we can go on to getting the right dimensions for the remaining of this, which involves using a new thing called the thread command. Alright, so once we've got it in position there for the revolve, we've got the whole profile set up. I'm going to finish sketch and use a revolve. The revolve in this case first is going to pick that whole shape, which is what we want, and it's looking for an axis. In this case the axis is right at the edge of it because it's solid all the way through, and we're going to finish that off like that. Now it needs a little bit more, which is something new under the whole command, is thread. And the thread we're going to come and add on there, and it automatically picks the right size that we need and puts that on there. So that thread command. Now something to note about this is one side is threaded all the way, the other side is only threaded part of the way, and it tells us here that's 5/16 18 UNC times 0.5. That times 0.5 tells us how long that is going there. And so we're going to, when we thread the other side, make note of that. So we're going to put the thread on the opposite side, and instead of doing the full length of thread, we're going to uncheck that, and we're going to set the length to 0.5 instead. So the last bit of this is just the chamfer that is given. It says chamfer both ends to 0.031, so we're going to use that, and that's under fillet, find our chamfer. In this case it's just the edge that we're using, so we find both of the edges, the ends, make sure those are chamfered and we have that finished. So we're going to make sure to save this as the vertical support of this part. Make sure you're paying attention to the diameters and you're adjusting them to become radius as you draw the profile.